Welcome to Talking Hawks. How are you, mate?
Come on! Yeah, awesome.
Got
What
a
a
win.
tribute. How good. How are you, mate?
Oh, fantastic. I haven't heard the Hawthorn club song for, must feel like 2 years now.
I've been playing it and rocking myself to sleep in the corner of my room, but throughout the year. But just to keep it fresh, it's nice to hear the boys. It'd be good in the change room, wouldn't it? Imagine that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Boys would be up and about. How's that goal for Stratton?
The best.
What a moment.
He was down there for about 2 minutes. Poppy, Gunston, Stratton, bang.
He didn't need to be there long. The Gunston gave up his 400th goal so that Stratton could kick that one. So
how good. I know.
What a teammate. What a team player. That's unreal. Love it.
Brilliant.
Love it. Now, Chris is running a little late. He'll be jumping on soon, hopefully. So I think he's got to get his kids sorted or he's having technical troubles. So, but he'll be here soon. Don't you worry. We got a very different show today, Matty. We're actually going to put it out to the fans and the followers to jump on with us and stream with us because we'd love to hear from you guys, wouldn't we, Matt?
Oh, for sure. You've been with us all year and we've got some really intelligent people and good opinions, great senses of humour. So today's the day. How will that work, Brad?
So we're going to put the link in the comment section. All you need to do is follow the prompts. It'll queue you up and we'll bring you into the conversation. So it's that StreamYard link. So we're going to get that up shortly. But before we do that, mate, let's talk a bit more about the game. What did you like the most?
Mate, first quarter, phenomenal. Just out of the blocks, very hard. The pressure was pretty consistent for most of the game. It was just that play-on footy that probably we've been trying to do and for the last 6 odd weeks, and we're seeing it start to come to fruition. So, look, lots of highlights through that, and it was a bit of a – look, they were just toying with them, weren't they, at times?
Yeah. Look, mate, I was watching that thinking to myself, where has this been all season?
I know.
Mate.
Have you got answers?
Don't.
Have the fans, have you got answers? Because we'll if you're joining us now, thanks for jumping on. There'll be a link. You'll be able to sit tight in the what's it? The virtual weight room. Brad will escort you on, and you will get to have your say.
That's right. So we'd love to hear your opinion live on the show for the whole world to hear. Now, keep in mind, we're a family-friendly show, so no idiots. Keep the swearing down. And nothing abusive, all right? I'll have to kick you out. So, but again, we'd love to hear from you guys. I'm going to post that up in the comments section here as well.
While you do that, I'll just give a couple of thoughts from the game. Look, loving Frost, Graves, Gunston, Scrimshaw, more Poppy Morris. Very good first quarter. Those boys, Cousins even bobbed up. Just the intent was there. You heard, if it was the Foxtel that you were watching at KO, Rue from Adelaide, he was just saying that the Hawks just do it better than any club, just sending off their champions. And they did get up today, which was brilliant. And everyone was probably on the edge of their seats waiting for Stratts to get down there. But Poppy out of the gates, 2 goals, that one from the boundary.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
A bit of champagne Poppy there, mate. It's like, seriously, that they're the things that we used to love and enjoy watching. Yep. And he brought it all out today in this game. It was just, I was ecstatic. I think my wife had a little tear at the end too when he was taken up front and was allowed to kick a goal. So,
I was wondering with Poppy if he could have kicked a lot more goals through his career if Hawthorn had more games in Adelaide and Poppy's family got along. Just because he just rose to the occasion. I reckon he's about a foot taller today.
That would have taken him all the way up.
Too. Oh, what was that?
That would have taken him all the way up to 5'2", I reckon.
Yeah, phenomenal. But the smarts of Burgoyne through the game. Frawley did pretty well on King, I thought. Kept him pretty quiet. Disposal efficiency, though, mate.
Incredible. Looks like we've got Chris, mate. So here he is. Welcome, Chris.
Howdy, guys. How are we?
Great, mate. Good. How good was that show? How good was that game?
Oh, it's unbelievable. So good to send off the legends of the club on such a good note.
Absolutely. Would have made for a long off season if we didn't get that win. I don't think I would have slept very well for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of typical of us, hey? It's like at the end of the year, if we're not playing finals, we just show, hey, this is what we've got in store for next year, and it gets us all excited.
Yep.
And then the game proper, the season proper comes around, and we're all like, oh god, it's sort of been a really trying 3 or 4 years for us as supporters. But those young blokes were playing out of their skin today, and I loved it. Greaves looked good. Dylan Moore, best game I think he's ever had. It was bloody beautiful. So, it's exciting. I'm feeling very optimistic for next season. That's for sure.
Yeah, we've got Glenn Nelson on the chat saying Jason Dunster would have loved Poppy's dribble kick goal.
I think even he would have to concede that was a bloody good goal.
I think he'd give him a bit of license today.
Absolutely. Hey, so the comments are coming through. Thanks, Glenn Nelson. That was great, mate. We loved it. So again, if you'd like to jump on the show with us today, we're going to open it up to the viewers and get a bit of fan talk going. We're going to bring you in on the live stream. The click is in the comments section where to click. So it's a StreamYard click. So if you want to join us on the show today, have a click and join in and have your say, and we'll celebrate with you.
Keep it punchy, bring the passion. Yep, family friendly. So awesome. Click and have your say. How good is this?
So Brad will be ready on the dump button, won't you, Brad?
I will, mate. I will.
Exceeding our expectations.
Yeah, Brad's been very kind to you and I through the season, Chris. He hasn't dumped us too many times.
No, we do our best to keep it tidy.
Well done, boys. So, George Dim, where was that the last 7 weeks? Is that a fair question?
It is a little bit, but I just feel like Gold Coast were on the back foot. We just got control of the game early, and it just played into our hands, and we were able to just move the ball the way we wanted to move it, and just continuously had options, and they just didn't have answers.
Yeah. I think the ground conditions, I think Clarko said there might have been dew underfoot, and I don't know if he was having a little pun there and speaking about the opposition coach, but look, the disposal efficiency wouldn't suggest that there was any dew. So I think he was talking about Stewie dew underfoot. Anyway, foot on throat.
Dad jokes, mate. They're thick and fast today, so... and good point, Glenn Nelson. We actually did run out the game. We played a full 4 quarters as well. So that's great. Look, I was a bit disappointed not to see Finn
McGuinness. Yep.
Finn McGuinness, but I also understand he was a deer in the headlights last week. He's clearly not ready for that next level. But hopefully, come next year, he'll put on a bit of weight, get a bit more confidence around him, and he'll be back in the team. For sure.
You copped it a bit last week, and I don't agree with that fully. So, look, if we get the fans on here today, Brad, you might feel that a little bit. I don't think he needs to put on a whole lot of weight. But yeah, he'll.
Well, look at Will Day, right? He's the skinniest bloke out there, and he's playing like he's been playing for 3 or 4 years already. So you're probably right. But if you want to be an in and under player, which is what we've got him for, then I suspect a bit more muscle and mass would probably help him out a bit. So. Yeah. Excellent.
So, fans, have we got anyone? We want to get you on here, having a chat with us. Let us know. Don't be armchair. Come in to the show with us today, guys.
Yeah, so Venkat, great comment, mate. Great game. What a finish for our champions. Intent, competitiveness, spirit, non-stop momentum, 4 quarters. The skill level is what I loved. That's the skill level I've been accustomed to as a diehard Hawthorn supporter. Was what we saw today is exactly what I believe Clarko is looking to build for our club going forward, and it was bloody good. Just a shame it only clicked in the last game of the year, but hey, next year, roll on next year.
It shows it was there, and that running style. Look, I think it's been there. The game plan, just maybe opposition. I don't know. Who's to know behind closed doors what got him up today? Obviously playing for the captain, who he's a behind-the-scenes sort of guy. I think the culture and the way he's shaped it, that was commented on, everyone would have wanted to get up for Stratts.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the Boogeyman, Aaron Vanden Bogard, sorry, mate. How about you come on the show, Aaron? Click the link and come and teach us how to say your name properly. You've been one of our loyal followers, and you're here with us every time we comment. Come on the show, mate. Click the link and tell the viewers how to pronounce your name properly.
Not sure if you boys were looked at the Facebook post that we had, but I called for Clarko to put Stratts forward in that last quarter, and thank God he did, because that was such a good send-off for him, wasn't it?
Well, that's the influence that we carry here at Talking Hawks, Chris. We say it. The next week, Clarko has outworked it. So it's how does it feel being in the top 5,000 most influential Hawthorn supporters?
If only every prediction we had come to fruition.
Yeah, especially mine, right? The 17 games I said we'd win this year.
There was some phenomenal that first half. Just some of what I saw, just looking at the stats, the disposal efficiency 86% to the Suns 71, inside 50s 24-18. Both teams, their efficiency inside 50 was 50%, but Hawks' season average was 43%. So that was a nice lift today. Hit outs pretty even, 13-14 clearances. We went down 11-17 at halftime. This was, and then the center clearances 3-8. The Suns were all over it, but the pressure around the ground was that it was just blanketed across the ground. Even though they were winning those center clearances, we were just getting it, and then it was just keeping us off, wasn't it? Absolutely.
It's look, I don't know if they were off or if we were just on. So it was just bloody impressive. It's if we were on and Gold Coast were on, then I'm really excited for next year. So, fellas, we've got our first person queued up to join us here. So it's,
welcome.
It's Lockie Barker. Let's bring him on in, hey?
Lachlan.
Hello, guys.
Okay.
Hey, young Lockie, mate, showing off the photo there with you and Clarko.
Yeah.
Check you out, mate. So what did you think of the game, young fella?
The game was great. I love Stratton's goal so much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And those back-to-back goals. Oh, not back-to-back, but those 2 goals in the first quarter from Poppy. Those were brilliant.
Yep. Unreal. Good stuff, mate. You've been following the Hawks long?
Since I was born, had no choice.
Well done, mate. Well done. It sounds like you got very smart parents.
Yeah.
So
good. That's great parents right there.
Good choice. Well, thanks for joining us, Lock. Enjoy the rest of the season, mate, and we'll be back for to talk draft and trade period as well after this. So, did you enjoy the season, or was it a bit of a letdown for you?
I hated it. Letdown.
Hated it.
It's embarrassing.
All right, Lockie. Well, thanks for joining us, mate. Have a good one. We've got Aaron lined up. The big Aaron, the Boogeyman. How are you, Aaron?
Aaron. Hey, welcome.
Welcome.
Hey.
Mate, it's nice to actually see you face to face. So, what did you think of the game?
Honestly, a brilliant performance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What stood out to you the most, mate?
I think the effort, the pressure, even Tim O'Brien holding a mark for a change.
Timmy!
It all just went right today, didn't it?
I did, yeah. They actually gelled for a change.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the young blokes, mate? Anyone stand out to you there today?
Day, Greaves.
Yep.
I don't think anyone else other than come to my mind, but
Moore?
yeah.
Cousins and Moore.
Moore was brilliant, but it needs more time.
Yeah, more of that,
For
mate. Sure. More of that. That was bloody good game. So how's it feel this season for you, Aaron? Has it been a massive letdown for you, or were we expecting us to finish this low?
Not really this low, but then again, Hub Life's been pretty hard on players.
Yep. We had it harder than anyone, didn't we?
Yeah.
Seemingly.
I think we really missed the MCG and our home ground advantage this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
hurt us. So, Boogie, how do you pronounce your name, mate? Let us all know.
Bogard.
All right.
Pretty easy, Brad.
I've been butchering it all year, mate. So I apologise for that. Thanks for clearing that up for us.
I had a giggle though with you guys and Giro that night.
Yeah. Gibbo was quick to give us a few slaps.
Yeah, he was. All right, mate. Well, thanks for joining us, Aaron, and good luck for the rest of 2021. Hope you're surviving wherever you are, and thanks for following us as well, mate. We've really enjoyed you interacting with us.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one. Bye. So that was the Boogeyman, Bogard. Mr. Bogard. So, Vanden Bogard, sorry. Yep. Well done, mate. It's good to actually put a face to it. So, again, if you want to join us here and have a chat with us on here, click the link that's in the comments, the StreamYard link, and we'll bring you in so you can join the conversation as well.
We can talk about the game. We can talk about the players. There's a few decisions to be made.
We get that as well.
What's that, mate?
Next season.
Just repost that link again, just so it's fresh at the bottom of the comments.
All right, let's get that post back in there. So,
what was a highlight for you, Chris?
Highlight was probably the kids more than anything, like you said. More Cousins, just brilliant today. Day's been just good all year, just doesn't do much wrong, and Greaves just solid again. So, really good signs there. Again, if commentators mentioned it, like our decision to keep Burgoyne on. I think they mentioned he'd had 5 touches somewhere halfway through the game, third quarter maybe, but 5 touches for 5 score involvements. Like, doesn't get much better than that. So that's what he's there for. He's so important to that team. So I think it's worthwhile holding on to.
Oh, so absolutely. He's on-field leadership. I don't remember the commentator who said that, usually Clarko, I mean, the way he treated Mitchell, Hodge, and Lewis with them asking them to go, it's sort of double standard. I don't think it is. He only asked one of Lewis or Mitchell to go. He didn't ask both of them to go. And when it turned out that both of them left, we were left in a bit of a hole. So I think he's a big believer in having that on-field leadership. And clearly that's what Burgoyne offers us. So, yes, he's lost a step. But the on-field leadership makes a massive difference to us, and we can't just get rid of that overnight.
Yeah. And it's not like he's asking them to go either. He's just putting out that scenario of potentially extending their career and seeing if that's going to help them personally. So I think it's a combined decision. It's not the ruthless Clarko that people might always point to.
Yeah, so I thought we were going to have more announcements today too, fellas, of people who are retiring this season.
He watched his pre-game conference. The media attacked him and asked him ongoing questions about our list, and he just kept knocking them back, saying, look, we'll review the season after this game, and then we'll start having those discussions and working out. We still don't even know our list size. How can we make decisions when we don't know our list size?
Which is pretty surprising, really, isn't it? I hope they
called for the AFL to make a decision, and they still haven't gotten back to it's not just us, it's every club. Like, North Melbourne's come out ruthlessly and cut about 10 players. And we might have some idea, but at the end of the day, you can't make those decisions until you've got proper numbers.
Yeah. I hope they come out with that decision before final start, so this week. There's going to be a lot of players who are going to be quite anxious over their careers and particularly being in limbo without knowing what the list size is going to be going forward. So hopefully AFL, come on. Chris is here. He's spoken. He's one of the top 5,000 most influential Hawthorn supporters. He's spoken. AFL, we need a decision this week. Isn't that right, fellas?
We certainly do.
So Jack Payne, is Chip staying? What do you think, boys?
Today for mine, he did okay, but he's just the last half of the season. I know he's come under a lot of criticism. I know I've been a fan and thinking he should probably stay on, but he's just looking that little bit slower off the mark. I think you have a look at what could possibly be trade-wise and how firm your confidence is that you can land another gorilla handling backman. And if you've got a young pup ready to go, or someone with a bit of girth and a bit of size that could take him out, then you probably would let Chip go.
It's what it comes down to, doesn't it? It's if you haven't got a replacement for him, he needs to stay. The only replacement on our current list is probably Hartley, who performed well and then got kicked back out of the team again.
Yeah.
So, unless we can recruit someone, I believe he will stay for next year.
Yep. How about Poppy then? So did Poppy's performance today warrant that he's hanging up the boots 1 year too early? Because if you saw his presser, he even said, unselfishly is how he wants to be remembered, and he felt like even just continuing was holding out a spot for a young fella.
Yep, no, it was just an honest answer to the question at the end of the day, and yeah, it's just a situation of where the club's at the moment. And, he's sacrificing for his club. So, unfortunately, he could be pulling it up a year early or two years early. Who knows? But,
I don't think it's early.
Past critics this year and, just proved today what he's capable of. So,
well, they threw him in the midfield as well. He hasn't been in the midfield for quite a while, has he?
No,
and he did all right in that first quarter.
Best game of his year, mate, was this year. So if he'd have been playing that way the whole season, then I think he'd be staying. It's a no-brainer. So now, Venkat, we lost you, mate. You were there, queued up, ready to come in, and then you disappeared. Mate, so remember, if you want to join us here on the live stream, have your say, join in the celebrations of that win, just click that StreamYard link that I've put in the comments there, and we can bring you on the show. So Venkat, come back, mate. We'd love to hear from you. Now, I think he has to stay. I agree with you. We don't have another one. However, if we do pick up this GWS backman, what's his name again, fellas?
Core.
Yep, Core. If he's available, then I think it makes sense for us to drop to let Frawley go. So, but in the absence of another, we need two gorilla backmen, and one as a backup. So it just hurts us if we don't have that. In my opinion.
GWS seems to be in a world of pain at the moment, don't they? Dropping Caniglio, and then he comes back and responds. But it seems to be a pretty unsettled team there at the moment. So there could be a few on the market. Hopefully,
I think all the Hawks. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I'm just hoping we can snatch one of the available, or maybe two. Jeremy Cameron can come down, whatever.
Yeah, we'll take Jezza, mate. And
it feels good to have be the last team that was in a grand final, even though we won it in 08 and then didn't make the finals the following year. It's kind of nice just to pass that baton on to GWS after last season. And
don't forget Adelaide, mate. They were as well.
Oh, true. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
it's just still fresh and still hurts. But anyway,
even though I'd be okay if we won the grand final and then not be in the finals next year. But to get to the grand final and then not win it and then be bundled out and not even make the finals the next year, that would be pretty disappointing, I reckon. So
can you boys just tell me what your opinions are? Because I don't know if I've just been in La La Land or if this year trade rumours, trade talks just off its head because of where we are on the ladder. But it just seems like there's been tenfold talk about we can get this player, let's go here, let's go there. It just, from years gone by, it just seems crazy the amount of trade talk I've heard so far.
I think it's up.
You think it's up?
I think it's up a little bit. I try to read a lot. I'm pretty interested through that period, but because our season's been in decline, it's probably more everyone's starting to look forward earlier. So, in years gone by, we were around the mark or close to final, so it wasn't necessarily as big a priority, I don't think. So we will see. We'll try and report some of the, the mail that we might get that might be good, but we don't want to add to the rumor mill too much. Glenn, I'm keen to hear if that's a reliable source about Poppy being approached by North. If anything, I think that's what we should share on Talking Hawks about the Hawks players that we mentioned. Glass. Is it worth keeping him around? I think that was a little bit rough, but there's nothing confirmed there as yet.
Like I said, I think he's just a victim of the potential list size being reduced, and I thought he showed enough potential to be given an extension. But yeah, he's not the only one. There's going to be plenty of players in the AFL that are going to lose their jobs, basically.
Yeah,
COVID.
I think he's cooked, mate, for us anyway. And I think changing clubs revives careers for some blokes. I mean, look at Jordan Lewis. He was starting to look like he was nearly cooked, but then going to another team, it reinvigorates them and it prolongs their careers. So I think that's probably what Poppy needs for himself if he is going to continue on. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did get picked up somewhere else. But he has said he's retiring. He didn't say that he's
a decision between retiring as a one-club player and extending it for a year or two with another club. But at the end of the day, like, they're potentially 200, 300, 400 grand, like, you know, a season. So
yeah,
I don't blame them for going to another club to extend their careers.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, Hodgie officially retired as well. So he finished up with us, and then Fags obviously drew him back up to Brisbane. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did retire and then get picked up by another club because he was made an offer he couldn't refuse. So I'd be perfectly okay with that. And if he went to North, even better. So because I don't think they're going anywhere.
Yeah, when you drop unless we could make him part of a trade deal for Ben Brown. I know there's a few Ben Brown haters out there, but I love Ben Brown, and I think the idea of him in the Hawks colours would be great.
Now he's 27, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a few years left in him. Yep.
So he'll be 28 next year.
He's just such What's wrong with that?
We're too old, mate. We're trying to get new young blood in, and by the time we're ready to actually. You know, it might take us 2 or 3 years to get back up there again. And by the time he's ready,
31, and he's still kicking 60 goals a year.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So anyway,
that's why we have these discussions on here.
I think too one-dimensional. We've got enough one-dimensional, big bulking forwards, albeit none of them have kicked maybe as many as Ben Brown in recent years, but he's on the down. So I don't know.
Look, I think going to another club can reinvigorate his form. I think he's too good of a talent to go to waste.
If we only consider it,
someone else will get him and he'll kick 60, 70 goals a year.
Yeah, but that might be good for them. Are we better off with an even spread? Maybe that's not what we need. Maybe we don't need a 60-goal kicker. Because you've still got Gunston and Breust and others.
He can just add his 60 and we'll spread it out elsewhere as well.
Yeah, well, who are you getting rid of first then? Who's going for him?
Tim O'Brien.
Well, I think Tim's had 7 years, 8 years. I don't know. It's just, every year it's another year on the list. I think Tim's flashed a bit of brilliance and teased us for so long that, we need to give up on that and get something that's solid.
He teased us again today, Tim O'Brien. It's even Mitch Lewis did, but that's what they did last year. They showed all this promise in the weeks leading up to the end of the season, and then the year kicks around and it's like, just teased us again. Teased us,
For mine, Ben Brown.
Mitch Lewis is younger. He's younger. He's got the extra height. He's got more potential. I think Lewis is worth experimenting with. We've still got Patton sitting in the background. He's on a small paying contract, but it comes down to list size. Can we keep him in that small list size? Depends who we want to recruit, I guess.
Any ideas on how small they're going to make the list sizes going forward?
No. Chris, you need to speak again.
No, I've heard 35 as a general rule of thumb, but who knows?
Well, are we going to be able to talk then to who was playing for their career today? Who was playing for a contract extension? Because there was some phenomenal efforts.
Before we go there, I'm just thinking guys like Sicily, long-term injury.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have him on our list, on our long-term injury list, and not be counted as one of our listed players per se? So just depends. You might be able to sneak a few players under the radar off the list who can come into the team, or have them as a VFL listed player who can then be upgraded onto our list during the season. So I don't know how, like, the club will know exactly the ruling behind all those scenarios. But, if we can potentially keep a few VFL players on that list and have them ready, like CJ. You don't want to get rid of a CJ, I don't think.
No.
But if you had to drop your list to a certain size, would he make the cut? I don't know.
I think CJ.
Absolutely he would. Without a doubt, in my mind. So JP Max made a really good comment. Thanks, JP. And again, if you want to jump on the live stream with us, hit the link in the comments section, the StreamYard link, and we'll bring you in so you can have your say with us today and have a bit of a chat. So JP Max said, I just can't work 2020 out. Lions, Tigers versus 12 weeks of misery. What happened? What happened, boys?
Well, we probably met Lions and Tigers not in their peak form. We were probably playing pretty good footy at that point of the year as well. So before we got a few injuries, so it's just a mix of the season. That was when we were playing at home, I think, as well, early on in the season. So yeah, since we've hit the road and it's been in the harvest, just we haven't been able to perform our best. So,
Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
We've touched on those different angles. I think midfield didn't click. Injuries played a part. Hub life played a part. And probably that as the season wore on, when you've got an older playing list as we do, one of the, if not the oldest, on average, I can't remember the numbers exactly, but traveling away from family or with family and all of that has an impact. I think just there was a game plan that was instilled over the off season, and I think they went away from that. So if you're trying to blood youngsters and they're trying to remember one game plan and go back to another, who's to know how much of that has an impact? And we had also reduced staffing implications, as did other clubs. But maybe Clarko was relying on some others, more heavily. I know Damien Carroll and others, much loved and very good with the players. So maybe that has an impact.
Look, I think everything went downhill when we found out we had to stay in the hub, and the wheels just came off, and the boys just weren't mentally prepared for the whole thing. Those first 3-4 games of the season, excluding the Geelong loss, the one where Clarko said they're just not that good, and here they are in the top 4. We're eating those words, aren't we? Well, I think the wheels just came off for us. They just came off, and mentally we couldn't cope with it, and we just couldn't get ourselves back in contention again. And so to me, it was hub life. We had the hardest run out of any other club in the hubs. We had to stay in 3 different hubs, whereas every other club had to stay 2 different hubs, and that definitely had an effect on us. And particularly the whole thing of having to play on that GWS ground was a bit of a blow as well. Now, we got Venkat lined up here to join us, boys. So welcome, Venkat.
Hi there, man. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, it was great. I think we saw some intensity, which we saw in round 1 against Brisbane. So the highest scores, that sort of rounded off the year very well. So yeah,
was too little, too late.
Yeah, possibly, but yeah, we knew we weren't going to rock the Stars this year, so that's all right.
Yeah, and so what are your thoughts on next year, Venkat?
Look, I think there's a lot going on in terms of list movement and all of that, and our supporters are jumping into say we don't want this, we don't want that. But what I've peculiarly noticed this year is the way first year or second year players at some of the top league clubs seems to have got on. So maybe we need to pick up folks that will express pace, like the way Will Dare and Damon Greaves have shown promise this year. So I think we're possibly waiting a little too long for our guys to mature, and so that's possibly one thing that we'd like to see going forward. Yeah. We really can't have that 3, 4, 5 years kind of time frame for people to mature. Some of the other clubs we don't know whether it's just sheer confidence in the individual, or the time. We've seen Cousins this year in the last 3-4 games. He's shown promise. He's definitely shown a lot. Yes. So similarly, we possibly need to pick some hard bodies which don't take, the time that Tim O'Brien has taken in. I'm not a believer that we should let go of Timmy, because he's certainly worth his heart out in every game that we play. So maybe we should pick up a few folks, add on, and see how we go. But yeah, like you guys said, we really got to wait to see what the list size is going to be and where our priorities are.
Where do you sit with Alistair Clarkson? Do you think he's the man to lead us forward?
Look, I think he has a couple of years more to go. Give him a shot at it. He's a master. He's done it before. I'm not sure we we have it in us to bring in a new coach and be absolutely impatient for us to see success. We got to give time for anybody that comes in new. But in the mindset that we are in, having seen so much of success, more than the club, I think our supporters are really impatient. So possibly give him that year or two to see where he takes us, and then maybe work in the backwards to see if Louis wants to get on board in the assistant coaching ranks, or maybe see what Sammy has to bring in, because I don't think we have seen enough promise from Sammy this year. And it either could be because of the players, but or in terms of tactics from Sammy himself. And why not tap on Haji? So, look, we have options in front of us, but I think, the play arena is wide open for us to make and jump conclusions as yet for where and how we go.
So how do you think we're going to fare next year, Venkat?
I don't expect us to go into the top side of the bottom eight. I think we will hang around here for the next year or two. Maybe show some progress in 2022, 2023. Not before that.
All right, and before I let you go, mate, who's your pick for the captain for next year?
I would go with Jager or
Jager.
Shiels. I don't think I'll burden Tom Mitchell, because while he's played all games this year, was he at his best? Not possibly. He was just churning out possessions, but I don't think his effectiveness was as sharp as the previous years. So maybe give him that time and space to get better, and get Jager or Liam Shiels on it. My personal preference would be Gunners, but I don't think Gunners is more a team player. I don't think he would want to shoulder the load of being a captain. And we can't have another 1 or 2 year captain going forward. We need somebody who's going to be there for 3 to 4, 5 seasons. If Sis was on, the best choice I would have had, because he's matured as an individual, starting to shoulder the team load. But yes, unfortunate that he's gotten himself where he is. But I think we should look at somebody with 3-4 year annual.
Great, wise words there, Venkat. So with that theory in mind, I think that probably rules out Liam Shiels. So I'm on the Jager train with you, mate. Let's get Jager in. So thanks for joining us, Venkat. Have a good afternoon, mate.
Having me, great show. Cheers, man.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Do you want to chuck the post up again, the link up again for the guys, Brad?
While you're doing that, did we maybe see a little bit of a prelude to another assistant coach in the making? Isaac Smith on the phone today. In the dugout. Yeah. He was enjoying himself. He was having a bit. He likes to chat, but who knows?
Who knows? I don't know how he'd go at coaching, but hey, good for him. He's another one of those on-field leaders, and I don't think we should ever let him go as well. So thanks for your thoughts there, Venkat. It was wonderful to have you on there, mate.
What do you reckon, Matt? Do you reckon he's got a bit of a hard ass in him to, he seems like such a lovely, nice guy, Isaac. I don't know if he's got it in him to be that
the ruthlessness,
that you need.
He is a good country lad. He's a bit of a larrikin, even though he's sort of matured nicely. And you might be right, but can you have the right people around you? Because sometimes it's just about building them up. And if you can deliver truth in an effective way, I think he'd have a way of delivering some truths that might help some of the players that he's played with. And, maybe it was a bit of a tester for him today.
Yeah, potential there.
Yeah, I can't see it, mate. He's not ruthless enough. So I love him, but I can't see it happening. Now, Sam Mitchell, absolutely. Even Hodgie, I'd question. He's just, he's got a bit of that country lovability in him. But, Sam Mitchell for me is probably the best one to come out of that whole group. So, boys. So this season, I think, was the worst season I've experienced as a supporter. Most disappointing season I've experienced, and I'm worried. But today we definitely saw some green shoots, those young blokes, and I'm curious what strategy we're going to take into the trade period, whether we pick up blokes like Ben Brown and stick with what we've been doing, as in just bring in the talent, or whether we start going to the draft and getting the young talent into the club. I'm hoping it's the latter, not the former.
I think it's going to be a part where you come on, Chris.
The draft is obviously the first place you want to go to. But then you've got to also look at what talent's available. Like I've already said, there's 10 players on North Melbourne's list, and someone like a Mason Wood, like I don't know what everyone else thinks of him, but I highly rate him. He's so flexible with his body size. He can play so many different positions. So someone like that, you might be able to pick up on a cheap contract. I don't know. It's too many maybes.
And not every player can come in straight out of a draft and be ready to go as well. So, I mean, you can be topping up. It's just that list assessment. We'll have some good chats about that. But I think you will dip into the draft. I don't think we'll go for the top-up talent from other teams, or if we do, we'll get them at a bargain, or might maybe kiss one or two players goodbye that have got some currency. But, I don't think Hawthorn has a good track record of never really giving away too much. We've been rorted a couple of times with some legends, but that's more the system rather than necessarily what we can negotiate at the time.
Yeah. All right, boys. We've got Glenn Nelson lined up here. How are you, Glenny boy?
Hey, lads. How you going?
Go the Hawks.
Very good.
Go the Hawks.
How's
good
that
to have
game?
you on, Glenn.
Did you enjoy it?
Pardon, guys?
How was that game? Did you enjoy it?
That was amazing. Good to see Poppy snag a couple for once.
It's a bit of champagne Poppy there.
Yeah, a bit of
that's
Poppy.
what we've grown accustomed to over the last 10 years with Poppy. So it's a shame we couldn't see that all season with him.
Yeah, it's good to see Stratts snag one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He doubled his goal kicking tally for his career in one game.
Yeah, 8 years, was it?
Yeah, he hasn't yet. So he kicked his second goal ever.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. So Glenn, what are your thoughts, mate?
I know. I reckon we're struggling.
Yep, struggling for next season.
What have we got to do to fix it?
I think we need to trade hard.
Trade? So not the draft?
You're ready to get rid of a Gunston or a Breust, or you don't want to go that hard?
I want to go that hard.
You do?
I
Yep.
reckon we could potentially get 2 first-round picks, maybe even throw in a second.
Yep.
And look at Geelong. They've got 3 first-rounders come up this draft.
Yeah, so
so
we could trade with them.
They're sitting in a nice position with those extra picks.
Yeah. So, I'm just thinking, like, even someone like, I'd hate to say it, but Liam Shiels.
Yep.
So everyone's on the table for you. Absolutely everyone.
Everyone's on the table.
Yep.
So what were your thoughts about...
you wouldn't trade a Will Day, though, would you?
I wouldn't trade Will Day, no.
No.
So what were your thoughts about when we kept Burgoyne, mate? Do you think that was a good move?
I love Sean Burgoyne, but his time's got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah.
I love him, but I know you'd push him out there in a wheelchair to see him get 400, but, Father Time's got him.
Yeah, I think they'll manage his games next season anyway. He'll have a rest for interstate games and the like, unless he needs to go and visit someone, or probably maybe have the odd game in Box Hill just to keep some match fitness. But yeah, they'll get him up to 400 and probably get the wheelchair pointing another direction, not out onto the ground.
So, Glenn, it's go hard, go in the draft and pick up new young players, do the full rebuild, get rid of
full
more.
rebuild. Yeah, pretty much we're in the same boat as we was when we drafted Lewis, Roughhead, Franklin.
Yep.
So,
fair call.
Yeah, fair call. I look, I've got to be honest, I think I like that approach. I'd love if we did as well. I just don't think Clarko would do it. I just can't see it happening. No, particularly after he kept Burgers, gave him another.
I don't like the idea of going for Ben Brown. I just think he adds nothing, especially when we got Mitch Lewis, Tim O'Brien, guys like that. So
there you go, mate.
He needs a haircut.
If you want to go heavy on the draft, how do you feel about TAC Cup games being played? Like, where do you pick these players when you don't know how? There's not much evidence of form this year.
Well, I live in Tassie, so we've got plenty of local footy happening down here. So we get to see these young kids day in, day out. So
it's going to be one of the most difficult drafts this year because half the players you won't have been able to see them play. So it's a big risk, whoever it is that we're going with, unless they've been playing in the WA or South Australia or Tassie.
I'm really big on McDonald over in WA.
Yep.
Being touted as the next Buddy Franklin. So, if we could pick someone up like that with our first pick, top 5, snag in there, I'd be happy with that. And then whatever moves Clarko makes after that, well, it is what it is kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. Love it. Excellent, Glenn. So before I let you go, mate, who's your pick for captain next season?
I was just listening to the fella before, and look, I love Liam Shiels. I really do.
Yep.
But it does make sense to look for a long-term captain.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say Jager O'Meara. I would have probably went Sicily, being him injured, but your last name's Mitchell. It's got to be Tom Mitchell.
I don't know. We'll see. We will see. It'll be an interesting call, won't it?
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, Glenn, and take care, mate, and go Hawks.
Cheers,
have fun down there in Tassie. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us, Glenn.
All right,
it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, boys? Why are we discussing about 6 different names as captain? Is that because we are struggling for that pure standout leader, or are we spoiled for choice?
Ooh, good question. I think it's that we're struggling.
Yeah,
for a standout. That's my opinion.
Well, I think if Sicily didn't go down, he would have been right up there, and I don't think there would have been maybe Jago or Gunston for my, those 3 very, very strong. It depends what you base it on. And maybe, who knows, it's a bit of a player vote and staff vote, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Ruffy did it. Ruffy came in off a year off his cancer and then come straight into captain. So it's not like it can't be done. But in saying that, Sicily won't be playing for the first half of the year anyway. So it's not realistically going to happen with Sicily.
It doesn't make sense, does it? So that leaves Tom Mitchell and Jager O'Meara, Hardwick, maybe Gunston. But again, I think that I agree with what Glenn said. We need to get a guy for the next 5 years. And so in my mind, that leaves Mitchell, Hardwick, O'Meara, and Sicily's out because he's not going to be playing next year. So it's out of those 3. But none of them are real standouts. They're good. They're not. I think Jager would eat it up. So
why would you not give it to? Why would you not give it to? Stratts has just had it for 2 years. Ruff had it for 2 years, wasn't it? Gunston isn't on. Shiels or Gunston. I don't write off Gunston. I don't think you need a captain for 5 years at all. So Gunston, for mine, you can throw him up any end of the ground and he'll fix things. So that's a leader.
I just don't want the strain. Like it seemed like the strain of captaincy brought Stratts' game down a little bit, or he felt that extra pressure. So I just don't want that to happen to a Gunston. Someone like Liam Shiels could probably take that weight.
I think Gunston would rise to it. I think someone like him, the extra responsibility would make him stand up even more. Guys, I'm putting my money on Gunston winning best and fairest this season. So I reckon he'll be winning it, and he has stood up more than anyone this season. And if they're going to be okay with giving it to a bloke for 1 or 2 seasons, in my mind, it's got to be Gunston. But I don't know if he's well liked by the rest of the team. That's the only thing. I just don't know. So, yeah.
Well, can I just go back to it was Glenn, wasn't it? The Burgoyne getting to 400. He'll equal Harvey at that point. I'd actually love him to go past KB, Kevin Bartlett. I think he's on 403. So just I would be open to Burgers, going to 404 to become the 3rd highest in history. But anyway, just a quick one.
Yeah, look, even if Burgers just plays 3 games next year, just so he can get his 400, I'm okay with that. I think he deserves it. So, yes, we are leaving a young bloke out of the squad, but that's all right. So, but back to the rebuild.
It's a bit more than 3 games, but go on.
Yeah, sorry. How many is it? 8?
I think he's 12, is it? Someone can tell us quickly on the line. I've got a question. And as Chris was talking about it pre-show, how many Ruckman should the Hawks have on the list? And I know we're talking list size, and but if you look at the ages, Siegs did okay today. When he went down, hopefully that was just a knee clash and big boy stepped in. Reeves and Brooksby, thank you. You know, between them, you've got other big tools that could probably pinch hit. What do we need? Because it seems pretty like we're batting pretty deep on Ruckman.
Yeah, but they're not. I don't know. Look, Brooksby didn't set the world on fire when he came in. The guy's 30. So I'm shocked we picked him up. But I think
I don't know what game you're watching, but I thought he did all right.
He did okay, mate, but he didn't set the world on fire. You know what I mean?
You got one game, mate. Give the guy a chance.
Well, it was one game too many, maybe.
Nah.
I don't know. I didn't see much from him, so it was hard for me to get excited about him, particularly because he's 30. Now, if he was 23 and he played like that, I'd be like, ooh, lots of upside for this young bloke. Look at the size of him and the potential. But the guy's 30, and we brought him in as a backup pinch hitter for if one of these boys go down, which is what happened, and we brought him in for that, and that's probably all he's ever going to be for us.
Alan Sarkissian says all the Ruckman are over 30. I don't think they all are, but Brooksby, Siegs and McAvoy. Reeves is the young fella in progress. So it's sometimes, Brad, I think you get someone in like that he's been a journeyman and he's always going to be a role player, but maybe he's good for Reeves to model off and tag team with in the twos.
Yeah. So, boys, somebody made a comment here and I can't find it, but they said you're not going to get a first-round draft pick for somebody over 30 or around 30. I agree with that completely. So if we are going to trade for more draft picks and high up, who is it that we're trading for? Who are we putting out there as bait to trade?
I would happily let Tom Mitchell go to another club.
Yep.
And whether someone's willing to pay that price or not, I don't know. But he is someone I would happily let go.
What do you think, Matt?
I don't want to let Gunston go, but I think you would almost get a first round for him. He's worth more, I said it last week, than Breust. I'm sticking by that. I don't think we'd get a first round for Breust. But age-wise, look, we're batting deep again in the midfield, and it's just not all working on the field. So I think they do have to have a really good hard look at who, if you've got a Daniel Howe, to go with that scenario of Mitchell, if you go Daniel Howe, Finn McGuinness, Warple in and unders, and you probably got enough depth. And O'Meara, they can get it done. O'Meara's looking good when the ball's getting out to him, but he proved the year when Mitchell was down that he can go and do it there as well. So,
yeah, and look, I think you're probably right there, Chris. We definitely get a first round draft pick for Tom Mitchell and maybe more, maybe a first and a second for him. But I don't know if I'd be willing to trade him. I mean, even today, the guy in a shortened game, he's still got over 30 touches.
And he's got 34 for today. Just checking. So his number of possessions has slowly crept up as the season's gone on, which is a good sign.
He's starting to get back to his 2018 form, from what I see. So I don't know. I'd build a team around him. I would. Right. So I couldn't tell you who I'd be trading to get that extra first round draft pick.
Where do you sit on Chad Wingard? He's another big name that's been thrown around. We paid a lot for him. Is he someone that you would potentially move on as well?
Yeah. He's not really. Look, he's a good, solid player, but he's looking more and more like a role player than that X Factor type player to me at the moment. So. I don't know, man. I think we got some tough calls to make, and we moved heaven and earth to get him to Hawthorn as well. And he's still a very good age for us. So I don't know. I just wouldn't move him on. Maybe I'd cut a little deeper with our older guys. I really can't see Henderson getting another contract. Ricky Henderson. I love him. I just can't see it happening. Who's the other one? Frawley. Well, we talked about him earlier. I think we're going to have to keep him unless we get Core. So I think we go a bit deep. We cut deeper, let the younger players play and develop themselves some more. You know who I'd love to get though is Anderson from Gold Coast, the son of the two-time premiership player. I'd love to trade for him. So trade a couple of players who are in their mid to late 20s if we can, and get him in the side. He was
you're back on mid. You're back on mid to late 20s now, Brad. Rather than
whoever it is that we could trade to get Anderson in. Yes, he's a young player. Yeah. That's what I'd be trading for.
It's a bit of the romance there taken over, I think.
What about Billy Gowers, the son of Andy Gowers? Let's get him back to the club.
Who's he playing for?
Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And not getting too many games, but he's shown a little bit in different games. Yeah. I think on the Chad Widdengard thing, I don't think somebody said that they don't think we'd get Tyson Orr said he doesn't think we'd get a first round pick for him, and I probably tend to agree. But Chad's played a variety of roles this year, and if you've got Breust being dropped, getting a bit older, he could fit into that nice small forward position that Breust is played so well for us. He's still got those years behind him. So, yeah, probably definitely paid overs for Chad, but compared to what he's brought so far. But you want some X factor. He's still got it in spades there.
Yeah, I agree. So Dave Alford agrees with me. Thanks, Dave. Got to keep Mitchell midfield already thin as it is. He's a Brownlow medalist for the Hawthorn Football Club. 100% agree, Brad. Yes. Love it, Dave. So just keep in mind, if you want to jump on here and tell Matt and Chris that they're wrong, hit the StreamYard link that's in the comments section. We'd love to get you on and hear your thoughts. Or, God forbid, if you want to tell me that I'm wrong and say it to my face on here, I'd be very happy to have you on here. So isn't that right, boys?
Yeah. If Brad's going to hit the dump button on you after you pay out on him, I'll hit the dump button on Brad. Don't worry. We'll have you covered, fans. All good.
So Anthony Pereira is saying move O'Brien on.
Yep.
What do you think, fellas? Move him on?
Yep. Time's up.
Would you move him on, Matty?
I think he gives us more versatility. I'd still give him another year.
If in the off season he can learn to mark,
but he was marking a year before.
Best player.
He was clanking him.
He'd be our number one player if he could hold a mark. So
we're actually taking a few marks today. Lewis goes for the chest too much. Anyway.
Yeah.
But look, a bit of space, disposal efficiency goes up through the roof, and then all of a sudden they're getting marks. How about that?
Yeah. And then you've got your 2 meter Peter off. He's out of sorts, or not in favour at the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Well, you surely would have him in your team, wouldn't you?
Oh, if we could get him, mate, absolutely, I'd take 2 meter Peter. It's what we're missing, in my opinion, is somebody who can take contested marks. We're absolutely missing it. We're getting slaughtered on that side of things.
Certain teams force us to kick high, long balls into the forward line rather than calculated passes. So that's where you rely on a player who can take contested marks like that. And, I think there'd be an ideal candidate for us to recruit.
Yeah. All right. So Mac Hawk's agreeing with me. Wouldn't we love to see Anderson exactly what we need? Well done, Mac. I agree with you there, mate. We'd love to see that father-son connection. Bring him back in. He was sensational today for the Gold Coast. And every time I watch him play, I'm like, why does it have to be 100 games for the cutoff for father-son? Drives me nuts.
Chris, can you have word to the AFL for us? We need to change that.
At least we've got a few boys there at the moment. Stratton today, obviously retiring. If he happens to get a couple of boys, we've got Poppy. Hopefully he can get us another boy there. And Frawley 100 games with Hawthorn today, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
So let's hope we get another chip in 20 years' time.
Hopefully get a small fry. Is that what we're after? From spud to chip to small fry? There you go.
Well, all right, so Scotty Williams saying, come on, Brad, he's had 8 possessions to learn how to mark. Pre-season, sorry. Yeah,
yep.
I'm just saying if he could.
He was 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, look, he's had a good run. Maybe get a second-round pick for him, trade him off to someone else, bundle him up with somebody else on a packet of chips. Maybe we could get a higher.
That's why we're talking about this list size getting getting rid of players that you would normally keep that we're going to have to make the decision on to say, yep, we've got to move you on. There's not enough room. And I think he's going to fall into that category. If we can get some currency for him, that would be great.
All right, so Graham Riley wants to know, can Patton and Lewis play together?
Yeah, we would love you to come on, Graham. Click on the link. Come and tell us your thoughts. But go on, Chris.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. I think that's a good 1-2 combo. My initial thoughts of Patton was to play him deep, but he showed he's got a bit of a motor and he was pushing up onto the wing. So same with Lewis. He pushes up high as well. So I can see them both playing either position, whether it be full forward or centre half forward, and depending on the matchup. So I think they'd be a good combo. Even if they played sort of left of 50 and right of 50, there's lots of options with those two guys.
Patton's a stronger mark. Even when he was getting up the ground and on his bike, I think you can't get around that body. Lewis has got a similar size frame, but Patton they stick better. So I think he's a stronger contested mark than Lewis at this point.
Look, I'm not seeing
Patton deep then, and Lewis up and half forward.
I think we're in trouble with both of them, boys. I'm sorry. I just haven't seen enough from either of them this year. I mean, Lewis, to me, was the biggest disappointment that I've ever seen. Last year, he was finishing off that season. I was just like, yes, hello. We're going to have this monster forward, and he's just starting to hit his prime. And then he just there was nothing.
What if they push him into the gym over the preseason and he puts on another 5 or 10 kilos? Then he'd be a beat.
But maybe that would help him. Maybe he could. We just don't like today. I remember texting you guys through the game, and I said Mitchell Lewis is just the biggest witch's hat out in the ground today. And then literally the next minute, he clunks a mark in front of goal and he kicks it. And it's like this has just been the season that he's had. And I don't know, how much longer do we give him? Try him out. I just don't know.
We wouldn't have many players, Brad, if you were making the decisions, because you're so extreme with your opinions of the players, and you just, you're swiping left, right, and centre. Like I would, Patton, you were on his wagon a while ago, but he gets injured, so you get frustrated, and you want the short-term gain. So I think Patton, give him another off-season. Let's hope he gets quite a few consistent games under his belt. I would play him high leading up because we were struggling to get it deep inside the 50 with a quality pass. So
Patton's had all these different injuries. He come with bad knees. He's done a hammy. He burned himself. He's done all these sorts of stupid stuff. Let's hope he can just put a full year in next year and he can deliver.
Yeah. So Chris Lloyd's had a swipe at me. Are you guys really serious? Mitchell Lewis has had lots of injuries this season. He's still only 20.
Yep. Whack, Brad.
That's for you, Brad.
Well done, Chris Lloyd.
We love you, Chris.
All right, yeah.
Brad doesn't tend to show all of the comments that criticise his opinions, but thank you for putting that one up, Brad. It's,
all right, well, here's the next one.
Delivered, Chris.
Scotty Williams is saying, Lewis, biggest disappointment you've seen. What about Tyrone Vickery?
Scotty, you get the reward today.
Good call. Yep, good call, mate. So, but guess what? Tyrone Vickery was still a better player than these guys. So that's not saying much, is it?
He kicked 2 goals and he played 8 games, I think it was, if you go back and have a look. It was a disaster. Anyway.
Yeah, all right. Nigel Thomas is saying, if we get 14 games out of Patton in the next 2 years, I'll be amazed.
You might be right.
Yeah, you might be right, mate. Might be right. It's not looking like that has paid off for us, has it? So before I forget, if you're not following us on Instagram or on YouTube, jump on your phone, pull it out and make sure you're following us, and on Twitter as well. So the description's so where you can find us, I've got on the feed down there below. So we need some more. We need some more subscribers to the YouTube channel so we can start actually getting people to follow it. So we'd love you guys to help us out with that. So make sure you jump on and follow and subscribe to Twitter. And what was the other one? YouTube. YouTube's the one that we really need to get subscribers on so we can start getting pushed up in the rankings there as well. So we'd love your help.
it would help us a lot just with different things we're doing in the background. Obviously, we're very passionate, happy to put in the time and effort, and we've explored a lot this year. So thanks for those that have been on the journey with us and are faithful to come on. If you like this format, let us know. Give us a heart now on Facebook, or chuck it in the comments. If you want to be involved, having your say with us, sharing your opinions, let us know. Is it good straight after the game? We're very open. We've got a few thoughts on next year, but getting behind us on the social media channels means a lot to us. So thank you.
Great call. All right, we've got Chris lined up to join us. So welcome, Chris.
Yeah, so I'd just like to send off Poppy with a bit of a tribute. So great stalwart of the club, mature age recruit. He's come from.
I thought this was somebody joining the stream.
No, that's me. Put my photo up.
It was a big build-up.
Sorry, mate. All right, welcome, Chris.
Yes. You want to? All right, let's start again. All right.
Sorry, mate.
This is Poppy's career tribute for Hawthorn. What a great player he's been for us over the journey. Come from Norwood as a mature age recruit. Played nearly 200 games for the club. Has kicked nearly 200 goals. 3 premierships. Just an absolute legend in my eyes, and clearly the best number 28 to don the jersey. So thanks, mate. Thanks for what you've given us over the journey. You relentless pressure down forward, just incredible. So just thank you so much. Don't know what else to really say. You've just what have we got here? You've got 8 seasons that you played out of your 10. You played 20 plus games. So that just shows how committed you are to delivering your body week in, week out for the brown and gold. You've played the 40th most games for Hawthorn. So that's a credit in itself. 33rd in career goals, unless you moved up the ladder today. Apologies if I got that wrong. So, yeah, what a way to go out. Was it 3 goals today, guys?
Yep.
And an absolute cracker snap off the boundary. So I hope you enjoyed that.
And he set up the captain. Quick inbound to Gunners, who flicked it off to Stratton straight in front.
Yep. So you've purely made number 28 your own, and you've set some big shoes to fill for the next guy who wears the number 28 jumper for Hawthorn. So thank you, Poppy.
Thanks, Poppy.
Well
excellent
well
tribute.
Good tribute.
There, Chris. Well done. All right, so that's going to segue into my tribute to the big Ben Stratton. I don't have an image for Ben.
I'll get it up. I'll get a Stratton image up. Give me a second.
Fantastic. Thank you, mate. So, Ben Stratton, mate, this is what I want to tell you. This is my tribute to you, my friend. When you came in picked 46 back in the 2009 draft, mate, we were so glad to get you. We'd just come off our premiership, and the wonderful recruiting team saw you and saw that you would be a wonderful mid-sized backman, and we picked you up. You made your debut in round 3 of 2010, and after that, you've kicked on to play 202 games for us and kick a whopping 2 goals, all of which you added your second goal today in that final game, and it was a wonderful day. So you come from East Perth. Where was it again? Sorry, I've got it here. East Perth. Jeez, I hope I got that right. East Perth from WA. So he's a WA boy. And, mate, the first time you stood out to me, Benny Stratton, was in the 2011 qualifying final against Geelong, where we were down. We were out of our forwards, and you'd just come back from your injury, and we had to completely rely on you to get us over the line. Now, we didn't do it, but you stood out in that game, and it made me realise the importance that you played for our team. So you manfully worked your way back into the side, and then after that, we got back into the 2012 premiership as well. Again, you stood out, but we weren't able to get it then. And then probably the biggest thing that you did was, and the most memorable thing that you could have done is that tackle in 2012 against Patrick Dangerfield. We dragged him down to help us actually get into the 2012 grand final, which we wouldn't have done if you'd have not stopped Dangerfield, who was the fastest player in the competition at the time, but yet you willed your way to drag him to the ground. And that's the type of leadership and that's the type of player that you've been showing over your long and illustrious career at Hawthorn. So, Benny, thank you so much for being the captain of Hawks, for giving us such a delightful experience, an entertaining experience. I didn't care who you pinched and how much you trolled them. I still loved you, and you still be one of my favourite players. Thanks, Ben Stratton. We wish you all the best in your career going forward.
Well said.
Thanks. Oh, and here's the image. So,
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought I brought it up.
Stuffed up royally.
On. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Well,
what a send off though for two stalwarts. It would have been good to get the presser up in here, Clarko. The club's done a great tribute, I think, through the week, and it wasn't the presser good that they did with the players.
Yeah, it's a great little, something different. They were pretty honest, and one of the two of the little jokes they had were in house, but it was just a really good way of finding out a little bit more about the players and their thoughts on exiting.
Yeah.
So, boys, Glenn Nelson's just fresh off the press here, saying news just on Fox Footy Clarkson to have talks with Smith and Frawley about next year and potentially moving them on. Interesting.
Well,
Smitty.
Yeah, well, Smitty, we already sort of knew that
we had our mail,
but Frawley's been talked about. But if Clarko's officially said it himself, then that means they must have a plan to replace him.
Yeah, so does that mean Core is a potential?
Yeah, potentially.
Well, I'd use the second round.
Hartley steps up to the plate.
We'll use the second round pick that we get for Smitty if he goes to Brisbane on that 3-year deal that was heard here first as an exclusive for Smitty up to Brisbane. We'll see.
Well, one of those kids in the draft in WA, he's a pretty solid backman. So whether they're putting all their faith in him to, for 2-3 years down the track as a replacement, who knows?
Who knows? Be interesting. So let us know what you thought about bringing the fans in. If you enjoyed that, hit the like button for us. If you want to see more of that, we want to trial it here now that the season's ended. Going forward with the draft coming up, the trade period, we're looking at doing regular shows over that period as well. And if you've got any thoughts and comments, feel free to share it with us. Also, remember, get a mate to follow Talking Hawks who may be a Hawk supporter, so they don't miss out on all of the great and illustrious things that Matt and Chris have to share with them. So, any other thoughts, boys?
It's been a good year.
Just Matt, keep working on these beard. You've had good progress in the last week or two.
Thanks, mate. I'm not going to bring one of those walloping walrus, efforts. But anyway,
the
season's worn on.
I had way too much masculinity coming out, so I had to cut it back a bit. It was getting a bit scary. So, all right, guys. Hey, also, we really want to thank the viewers. We love you guys. You've made the show for us. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this. Thank you so much. And we've had such wonderful contributors as well. Brad Gunn, thank you for your support throughout the season. And also our admin boys, Adrian and Dan. Thank you so much, guys. We love you. Again, we couldn't do this without you guys. And the Boogeyman, thank you so much for all your comments, mate. Andrew. And who else? Glenn Nelson, you've always been there. Andrew Everett. Let me see. Rocky Barker. Yeah. Dave Alford.
Scott Williams. Janelle. Mel. Zimmel.
Nigel.
John.
Richie. So yeah, there's too many to mention here. Sorry, I know I'm going to miss someone.
He's a regular. Yeah, we'll continue and we'll talk through the trade period. We'll work it out together. Let us know what you need us to get through to Clarko. We will do our best. Geez, we've asked. We're still punting on a few potential players or former players. It'd be good to get Poppy on after.
I reckon he'd be gettable now.
Boots. Well, there we go.
If you're gettable,
let's get him on. Let's get him on before the end of the year.
And if Cyril decides not to put the boots on for any other teams, let's get Cyril. I mean, we've got Hodgie. We've got a few others we've got to get. But
mate, we had some major coups this season. We got some amazing ex-players on. So I'm looking forward to what we can do in the future. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. Thanks, guys. And it's been a real joy. We'll work out when we're back. But coming up to trade period, I suspect that we'll be back then and to bring you some news there. And I think we're going to have a great chat about what our prospects are for 2021. So absolutely. Thanks, Matt and Chris. I've enjoyed doing this with you too. So take care, everyone, and thanks again.
Thank you. See you
later.
Nice to
go out on the hike. Go Hawks.